now that you've done your analysis of your artist, the next stage is to think about how you want to present that work. So I'm going to show you some examples of some other students' work so that it kind of gives you a bit of an idea about how to present this work for fine art. You've done your analysis, and I'll show you kind of how students have spaced their analysis out, where they've put it around their work. We're also going to talk a little bit about the response itself, okay, and exactly what that I mean by the word response as opposed to the word copy, okay. So these 3 artist pages were all done by the same student, okay. Now you're going to choose 3, maybe 4 artists to do this for. And the reason you've chosen these artists is because they relate to your theme, okay? And a good thing to do, if you've not chosen your artists yet, is really think about why you're choosing them and make sure that they are different enough from one another. You don't want 3 artists whose work looks exactly the same. You want to really try and choose 3 artists that have got varying styles. So we've done a previous video. If you haven't seen the previous video, it talks about the actual writing and the analysis itself, and the help sheet is on the website, and it's also on this previous video. Today I'm going to talk to you about the responses and how to go about doing those. So each of these 3 artists has been done in a slightly different way, okay? Some of them have been painted, some of them have been collaged, some of them have used acrylic, some have used fine liner, etc. So the thing that to think about is the response isn't a copy. It's taking the artist's style and using the artist's style to help you out with the actual work itself. So you're thinking about producing the response, which is different enough so that it becomes your own piece of work. You can do a copy very easily, but what we don't want to do is a copy. We want to make sure we're trying to do a piece of work in the style of, okay? So here's another piece of work here. You can see the artist's work is on the left-hand side, these bits here. This is the artist style, and the student's done their analysis. But what they've done is they've actually used a photograph of their friend, and then they have done the picture in the style of, okay? They've used the example and they've adapted it for their own piece of work. They've used the same materials, they've used a similar sort of look, similar look and style. They've used a very similar approach. In this artist's work, they've done a series of responses. They haven't just done one, they've done a couple of different examples. So you don't just have to do one response, you could do a couple of smaller elements or a couple of swatches or colour experiments as a way forward. In this instance, this student has done a digital version. Okay, they've done a digital version of the artist's work, and they've done it in a style. There are other bit of writings on the other page. So you can see how students have really approached this in slightly different ways, and also different presentations, examples, okay? So have a think about how your title is going to look on the page, where your writing is going to be. Each of these pages, in fact, is a double page in a sketchbook. So think about how your text is going to work, how your image is going to look. Are you going to split it up with the writing on one page and the analysis, the artwork on the other page? Are you going to have the artwork in the middle and the analysis around it? How big is the title going to be? And are you going to type the writing? Because my handwriting isn't very good, so it'd be better if I typed it. Or are you going to handwrite it? It's totally up to you and the way in which you want to approach this. But there's going to be at least 3 artists, and just double check to make sure that the artists' work, artists are different enough from each other before you go ahead with this. Okay. If you've got any questions about this video or you want to ask me anything, please let me know. Otherwise, from this stage, we're now going to go on to the ideas. So that's going to be the next video. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Speak to you soon.